All right, greetings everyone, my people. I told you that Nigeria can never get away with the rest of America. My people, this video that you're about to watch, please, I'm urging you to just calm down and watch this video to the very end of it, because this video is the best video that you will ever come across this week. Yes, here is the real deal. After the investigation that these congressional men carried out since last week, my people, here is the real finding. America have gotten what they needed to take use against Nigeria. So it's a win-win to us. Please watch this video with a happy mood. I don't want to talk too much. Let's enjoy the video. You will be shocked and amazing as well. Let's go there. Don't go anywhere.
Okay, thank you, sir, from Dr. Segun Suwumi. And
First of all, let me say that on behalf of the people of Nigeria, we thank and truly appreciate the efforts that you put in that country's issues. The second thing that needs to be said very clearly is that the designation as a CPC has done much more than you can imagine its weight in words. The first is that it has given hope to a cross-section of Nigerians that someone is finally listening to what's going on and Nigeria now matters. Like a bicycle attitude, those with the responsibility of running our country have had over the years. At least now we can see that they are now beginning to shape up, albeit slowly. Now let me try and say very, very firmly without missing words. I'm a Nigerian, I live in Nigeria, I flee from Nigeria. And I have a duty to explain how things should be and how things are. Sometimes when you want to do a good, if you don't get all of the issues from the perspective of those on the inside, you might mistakenly even terrorism. No nation has been able to do it without improvisation or rhetorics. The only part is to be firm, responsible, comprehensive, respect international law. The second thing that needs to be said is that defeating extremism requires rebuilding what the terror people seek to destroy. Community devastated by violence needs more than sympathy. They need roads, they need schools, they need hospitals, they need economic stabilization to return back to the future that was taken from them. Help Nigeria expand its policing infrastructure. Because at the end of the day, rather than classify it as an ethnic group, which most people feel convenient to, which is Fulani, you must understand that's more than 15 million people that live there. And we don't think that 15 million of them are all into this. And if we're not very careful, we'll be sowing seeds that will never be resolved, almost like the one you have in the Middle East. So it's better to just say we're dealing with some criminal elite people. What we must do now is we must figure out, bless you.
the time, and so I'm going to exert the prerogative of the chair here, and turn the question a little bit to the issue, the big elephant that's sitting in the back of the room that nobody's actually talking about, which is what exactly do we do to get the Nigerian government and to get governments around Africa to join. And there's an old joke that how many psychiatrists does it take to change a light bulb? And the answer is none, because the light bulb has to want to change. Right? And so the question here is, how do we kind of work together with other countries in Africa, to get Nigeria to want to change? And there's a lot of different tools for that. And so we have a number of people who are on the list that I'm going to turn to and ask that question to. Okay, because I think better than making statements is the question of, okay, now what next? Okay, and so the first person I'm going to put on the spot is Ambassador, Madam Ambassador, who was the person, she was the ambassador to South Africa, and she understands the diplomatic kind of kabuki dance that diplomats have to do to get people to go along with controversial ideas. So is there a microphone that we can, so that you don't have to get up, is there a microphone we can? Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, gentlemen. Are you sending that to Abuja? No. Can you direct? Don't send that to Abuja. No. All right. Don't Abuja for the record. Yeah. Well, so anyway. It has to do immediately, which is the question you asked. Post every soldier to his state of origin. Post every Nigerian soldier to his state of origin. They will not allow their people to be killed and slaughtered. Because national loyalties in Nigeria are primordial. The loyalties are first to the ethnicity and the indigeneity before the Western created contraption called Nigeria. That is true. People owe more loyalties to their Afanifere, to their Ohanese, to their Arewas before the country Nigeria. And it is constitutional. There is a section in the Nigerian constitution that every single Muslim government who have ruled Nigeria more than other administrations have not allowed to be touched. Everybody has a copy of the Nigerian constitution. It is online, section 219. Section 219 of the Nigerian constitution says, establish the federal character of the Nigerian armed forces. Every single military facility and location in Nigeria must be populated by no less than 75% of the indigenes of the locality of the military facility. Why has government refused to implement it? So what America needs to do is to tell Nigeria, every soldier must be posted to his state of origin. And I tell you something. Yes, I am Igbo. And they invaded the house of Nnamdi Kanu in an operation called Operation Python Dance in September, when was that? Wherever. The soldiers that came to invade the village where boys and young men were marching and wielding rifles, locally made rifles, chanting Biafra hymns, that was no threat to sovereignty. But those soldiers came over weaponized with armored tanks. I thought they were going to invade maybe Benin Republic with military aircraft or something. It was just a house. And they so spoke Hausa to them and Fulani to them and say, you mounted. So what I posit is that if the soldiers that had come to undertake the Python dance attack were locals who spoke the local lingo to the youths and said, hey, you boys, you don't know that government is angry with this thing you are doing, and flogged them, the consequences would have been different. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, in a Zoom call that we had a couple of weeks ago, one of the other diplomatic issues is the idea of the United States imposing its will and kind of robbing Nigeria of its precious metals. And so that's one of the issues that we're going to have to get the other Africans on board too. Unlike Congress, those of us who've served in the executive branch have to actually make the choir sing, and we have to make them sing together. And so that's really one of the challenges that we have. And so let me just now turn to Dr. Sylvester Onya, and I'm going to give him the microphone and say, and please keep it short, what specifically would you have the administration do to engage the Nigerians in a useful conversation?
Thank you so much. Thank you, Congressman. Thank you for having me here. Thank you, Icon. One and foremost thing that somebody have said here is truth. Nigeria is supposed to embrace the truth. And starting from that truth and listening to what is happening from 1967 to 1970, we fought a war, civil war, and people don't like to address it. They don't want to hear anything about Biafra, but Biafra existed before Nigeria. So what had happened is that Nnamdi Kanu, the whistleblower about this particular genocide, Christian genocide that is happening now, that all of us have agreed on, they went after him.
because he was alerting people that this is going to happen, and they have just happened. What is it today? He's somewhere in Sokoto doing live them for nothing, just telling people that, hey, be careful, government should restructure the system that didn't work, the 67. That the same system is still what we're suffering today. The resources we're talking about one Nigeria, is based on our side, which is the southeast. But when we hear about resources, it's one Nigeria. Who is benefiting from one Nigeria? Sir, I should ask you that because you're just coming from Nigeria. Who is benefiting? Thank you.
So we're looking at how to. You're seeing part of the problem here, but I'd like to ask Judge Saul, who's working with the with people on the ground, to say what precisely do you need from the United States government and from the Nigerian government to solve some of these problems? Because it's going to take a while.
Sure. I'll try to make this very brief and short and sweet. What we need from the American government is partnership with local village security teams and local authorities. You cannot do business and trust the Nigerian government apparatus because it has been fully infiltrated by the Fulani ethnic militia. The other thing that the U.S. government needs to do is the State Department, the embassy, and the various agencies need to get on the same page. We've been running into many roadblocks with information that we've been trying to give to the U.S. government. There are people inside the embassy, in the bureaucracy, I call it the deep state, sorry not to get conspiratorial here, that are fighting us and fighting our mission within our own government. And there are people within the Trump administration that are withholding key information about what's really going on in Nigeria, preventing our success. So everybody does need to get on the same, sing the same chorus and get on the same harmony. And I have one critical thing I want to say, and it's a warning, and I want this on record for everybody listening and watching. We have information, we've gathered information just very recently, that the Fulani ethnic militia are weaponizing and gathering forces along the Plateau-Nasarawa border, along the Nasarawa-Benue border, and along the Nasarawa-Kaduna border, and they're planning to hit on Christmas, Riam, Bokos, Kafachan in Kaduna, and Agatu in Benue. We've gotten very reliable information that they're gearing up, they're arming, they're weaponizing, they're planning on another Christmas massacre, and I'm imploring the Nigerian government and President Donald Trump, do something now so we don't have a bunch of dead Christians on Christmas in Nigeria.
Thank you. Dr. Charles Jacob, you have something? Because we have an International Freedom Coalition and African Jewish Alliance. Please.
Keep it there. Yeah, freedom. Yeah,
my name is Charles Jacobs from the African Jewish Alliance. I worked with Congressman Wolf and Chris Smith 25 years ago because there was a jihad in Sudan, and we brought back the slaves that were captured, and that got to President Bush, and he created South Sudan, which is the newest state. I just have, it's incredible that we have broken through the news barrier, that now people can talk about Nigeria because Islamophobia, you can't talk about it, but we in this room have made a tremendous effort. I want to thank Stephen and Nada also for getting this. We broke it through. So now Bill Maher's talking about this, Van Jones talking about this, the Charlie Kirk Christian Empire is aflame about this, help save. I'm a rhetorician. One thing that might help us rhetorically, we don't need to talk about Islam, talk about jihadism. That's all. Talk about jihadism, because Nigeria is not the only place. The jihad has spread now to 20 African countries, and Nigeria was the first to break through, but we can actually organize the others as well. And by the way, there are 23 peoples in this world who are attacked by jihadism, from Christian Copts, from Kurds, from Yazidis, from Druze, from Indians, etc. We are working to put those people in one group. So just rhetorically, let's use the word jihadism and let's see ourselves as part of Nigeria is just one tentacle of the global jihad. Thank you. Thank you.
If anybody says that it is not genocide going on in Nigeria, that person is either compromised or is benefiting from the genocide or is part of those who are encouraging the genocide. Secondly, state police. I want to align with state police is very, very important and very crucial right now. Nigeria can implement it so that all these jihadists who have been incorporated into the national forces, the police, the army, and all that, when you emphasize or establish state police, they will be able to eliminate the bad eggs from among them, and the governors will have the power to influence and control the insecurity. Thank you.
Yeah. Please, we recognize Major General Henry Ayola retired, and even Apostle Ladi Thompson. But we would like maybe response finally from Congressman Smith. If maybe then we just try to.
Thank you. Great recommendations. Obviously, we really aggressively have to sustain this effort. My sense from the Nigerians is they think this might be a flash in the pan and we'll move on to other things. That's not going to happen. I can tell you, there are so many members of Congress now who are even more mobilized than ever. The State Department, especially with the Secretary of State, and of course, Donald Trump himself. And so we're looking for results. The idea that there's going to be a Christmas strike by the Fulani and actionable information that you have, we need to make sure that...
All right, you have watched it and they confirmed it. What is your take on this video? What do you think concerning this video that you just watched? Is this not a win-win? Of course, it is a welcome development. My people, while we are waiting for the final results, let's keep rejoicing and still keep praying that America done the best by, you know what I mean. Who am I? I'm only a messenger. I'm only a messenger. If you love what I do here on this Global Love Channel TV, please don't hesitate to touch your hand for subscribe button, like and turn on the notification bell so that whenever we upload a new video, you'll be the first person to be notified. And don't forget to spread the message, because in doing that, you are encouraging us to do more. Till next time, see you in my next video. Bye for now. Thank you.